Okay.
Oscar will look at Ghostly and say, "Frog, horse, frog. Do you wanna frog, horse? Do you wanna go on top of the frog, horse?"
Yeah, are you all right, mate?
Frog! On top, frog!
Do you hit your head?
Oh my god.
I will go next to Madame Sprout and just put my hands on top of the frog. Safe, very safe.
Eternal Oscar right now. Notice that Bubbles does a thing where the sides of Bubbles' mouth kind of stretch to the sides and curl downwards and you can sense what Bubbles is thinking, really, you think I'm good at this kind of stuff?
I was just gonna look at him. I was like, no, but I don't think I'm any better. You really want me to go up to that man and go like, oh, it's okay, she wasn't much of a loss. See, I can't.
Bubbles kind of points inside their mouth, and just you know what Bubbles is saying the whole time, and Bubbles is just trying to communicate. Like, I can't even talk.
I think that's the benefit.
Oh,
Yeah,
fine,
that's true.
okay. Ghostly, I think this might be for you.
What's that then?
Like, go give Brian a hug.
Oh, Brian's upset because there are splinters and bits on the floor.
Oh my god!
Oh my god.
Oh my god. Okay.
Oscar will look at Ghostly and say, "Frog, horse, frog. Do you wanna frog, horse? Do you wanna go on top of the frog, horse?"
Yeah, are you all right, mate?
Frog! On top, frog!
Do you hit your head?
Oh my god.
I will go next to Madame Sprout and just put my hands on top of the frog. Safe, very safe.
eternal Oscar right now. You would notice that Bubbles like does like a thing where like the sides of Bubbles' mouth kind of stretch to the sides and curl downwards like a, and you can sense what Bubbles is thinking, like, really, you think I'm good at this kind of stuff?
I was just gonna look at her. I was like, no, but I don't think I'm any better. You really want me to go up to that man and go like, oh, it's okay, she wasn't much of a loss. See, I can't.
Bubbles kind of points inside their mouth, and just you know what Bubbles is saying the whole time, and Bubbles is just trying to communicate like, I can't even talk.
I think that's the benefit.
Yeah,
fine,
that's true.
Okay. Ghostly, I think this might be for you.
What's that then?
Like, go give Brian a hug.
Oh, Brian's upset because there are splinters and bits on the floor.
Oh my god!
Oh my god.
Oh my Okay.
Kinda freaky.
Oscar will look at Ghostly and say, "Frog, horse, frog. Do you wanna frog, horse? Do you wanna go on top of the frog, horse?"
Yeah, are you all right, mate?
Frog! On top, frog!
Do you hit your head?
Oh my god.
I will go next to Madame Sprout and just put my hands on top of the frog. Safe, very safe.
Eternal Oscar right now. You would notice that Bubbles does a thing where the sides of Bubbles' mouth kind of stretch to the sides and curl downwards and you can sense what Bubbles is thinking really, you think I'm good at this kind of stuff?
I was just gonna look at him. I was like, no, but I don't think I'm any better. You really want me to go up to that man? A girl like, oh, it's okay. She wasn't much of a loss. See, I can't.
Bubbles kind of points inside their mouth and just you know what Bubbles is saying the whole time, and Bubbles is just trying to communicate I can't even talk.
I think that's the benefit.
Yeah,
Fine,
that's true.
Okay. Ghostly, I think this might be for you.
What's that then?
Like, go give Brian a hug.
Oh, Brian's upset because there are splinters and bits on the floor.
Oh my god!
Oh my god.
All right. Okay. Hello, everyone watching out there. This is Into the Multiverse, D&D channel where we have several games on the go, all running in the same world but in different timelines, in alternate realities. And this is the Yeeters group. I need to put the Yeeters logo in very soon, but I'll be putting that in later. I've just been moving into a new place, so I will get on top of all of that for sure. But I guess to start off, I guess I'll get you all to introduce yourselves. So we'll start with you, Moss, playing Epic.
Hello, my name is Moss. I play Epic, the dwarf barbarian fighter, whose soul has now returned home, but with some unforeseen consequences.
Beautiful.
And we find out about that later.
Absolutely. Beautiful. Thank you very much. All right, and Marcus playing Diego.
Hello, my name is Marcus. I play Diego, the Aeroculture monk, who has actually survived for quite a while, who has a habit of dying, but it's survived for quite a while.
It's because he's in his actual body now or something.
And, no, I died for a little.
Okay. Beautiful. Okay, well, brilliant. Have you any plans for the future? Either of you so far? Epic and Diego?
Find my brothers.
Oh, true, yeah. You have the 7 dwarves to fight. 6 other, yeah. Diego, have you got any plans?
Immediate plan is to help Xavier get power.
Perfect, nice. I'll do a quick recap, I guess, after the introductions. Alright. And then we've got Cahill playing Cedric.
I'm playing Cedric, an old dragonborn who, due to recent events, has become a bit of an alcoholic.
Oh my god.
Today, we are both sharing in the after effects.
Oh my god. That was a beautiful introduction. Wonderful.
I have plans for the future.
Mm-mm.
They're unknown to the group, so I will not be.
Ah, shit. We got secrets. Beautiful. Thank you very much, Cole. And then finally, we've got Craig playing Joe. Is Craig? Ah, yes. Okay. Good. Awesome. Awesome. Awesome.
I'm Joe. Not 100% of what I'm doing this week.
That's Brian.
We'll see how it goes.
Beautiful. Perfect. All right. So, I'm going to do a quick recap because it's been about 2 weeks. I'm even struggling to remember everything that happened. So, going back, you were in a dreamlike reality which you managed to escape. You were held there as prisoners. Your souls were prisoners to Lilith, the Vine Queen, one of the Fey Lords who rule over Gostar, the world that you're in. You managed to descend her tower, fighting through all of her minions, her maids, her butlers, the little fish people that lived in her bath, and traveling down through the tower, you managed to come face to face. Well, actually, no, you went down through the layers. You actually took a rest because Lilith actually surprise attacked you. And and took some pop shots at you guys, absolutely decimating you. So you actually had to hold out there for a while, resting up, and then eventually made your way down. You met Skull on the way, this barbarian lady looking for a Furbolg prince, and then she eventually later took off. But before that, she helped you with descending the tower, where you found no signs of Lilith, but Xavion knew a secret passage through the basement, which would take you all to his own Watcher Tower. You managed to descend the basement, where you found Lilith working in some sort of laboratory. There was all these tubes with kind of younger versions of her descending in years. They all seem to be kind of completely unconscious, and just these empty shells, these empty husks. Lilith spotted all of you, even though you're all invisible. She had just this insane perception. She spotted all of you, and you began to fight it out. And along the way, you did manage to beat her, but unfortunately lost one of your companions, Brian the Turtle, who had helped you escape Lilith's dreamlike reality. And so after the battle, you went back to Xavion's house, you rested up, you got very, very drunk, and then you continued to Tavenlock, where you knew Brian had lived near. He had a tower there, and you wanted to find that and bury him by his tower. And so you made your way there through a portal in Xavion's tower. You got to know some people. You met Ramshax, a wonderful merchant who lives there, and after meeting him, Cedric went slightly insane, and now drinks to stay sane. You started talking with one of the blacksmiths, who's also a tinkerer. His name's Grill, and he seems to have some sort of relationship with Xavion. Joe, you looked at getting a whole bunch of gold wire for some tinkering that you want to do yourself. You managed to buy some supplies. Epic got a lovely strap thing on his chest, like this baby walker thing that has a plushy sheep attached to it. And then that evening you attended Brian's funeral, where Xavion performed a fire ritual to send his ashes and turn them all into fireflies. You then you read a message that was on the pocket watch that Brian left you, realizing also that the pocket watch was somewhat magical, and it was basically his will that he left to you. He left this tower to you lot, to give you a home, a place to rest, somewhere that you can tinker, somewhere you can be safe, somewhere you can always come back to. And so, using the pocket watch, you managed to find this invisible tower. You went inside and found there's a guardian inside this tower, this large spectral sphinx who claims to be a time god. And you had to pass some of his trials. He tested you and wondered why you were in the tower and you weren't where Brian was. And you're also approached with another lady, the Azure Dragon, and she was a blue dragonborn who was very skeptical about you lot owning the watch, and said she would keep some close eyes on you. And she was a part of a group called the Chronergy, and appointed you lot the Black Tortoise, which was Brian's original title. And you are now guardians of this tower and this particular pocket watch. Exploring the tower, you found out that there was a lot to it. There was a lot of weird inventions that seemed to study time and space. You found a whole plethora of magical items in this place. But most importantly, you had a nice place to rest for the night. Even though you all ended up sleeping on the floor, you still had a nice home to rest in, somewhere safe. The next morning, the Spectral Sphinx, whose name I've already forgotten. It's been so long. I haven't been. Oh yeah, Gaio. Thank you. Gyro. Yeah, that was it. So he tested you all with really lame, kind of stupid riddles, and after passing the riddle, he either aged you up or aged you down. And Diego failed and was rapidly aged until he could solve the riddle itself. And now, after solving the riddle, he regained some of those years that were taken away from him. And so, you've been left now in the silence of this tower, examining these magical items, all a little older or a little younger than you once were. And
I aged.
no, you were fine. You're a hardy dwarf. You passed a con save. I think
I
it.
chose not to age.
Oh, that was it. Yeah, you chose not to. Yeah, you just said like, can I not? So you have an age. Neither has Epic, but Joe is a little younger, and Diego is a little older. Yeah. Yeah. So you're
Like 27.
I don't think you were that. I think you gained a few more years, so I think you're like 22 now or something like that. Probably about the same age that your dad disappeared at.
So, Marcus,
Yeah.
quick question. How do you spell cow in 15
Yes. Tell us the answer to the riddle.
It took me a while. I've got 3 pages of English. It's C-O-W.
Well done.
O, and then double spelled out, and then U, Y-O-U.
That is incredible. Thank you very much. Thanks for sticking with that for so long. Like, holy crap. And as you say that, the spectral things explodes from the book once more. I am the god of time, and you gain 2 more years back to yourself for completing.
Just gonna squirt him with a water bottle.
He's like literally just hisses, just starts backing up into the book. Book closes. No, just gets sucked in, and he is gone. But Diego, you do feel a little less stiff. What we can say as well, just to tidy things up, we can say that you've spent a couple of days here as well, examining these magical items, taking in the whole tower itself, and Joe, you've been tinkering on a new invention, which we can say that you've managed to piece together, because you've written such a thorough piece on this. You know exactly how you're putting it together. I think. Yeah, well, we can. Okay, you know what? Give me give me a roll. Give me a tinkering roll. If you get a 1, it's not on me, baby. Yes, I mean it's probably near impossible for you to roll badly here.
So I rolled a 5. But
Okay.
after I add everything, I get a 21.
Huh.
That's. Huh, yeah.
So, bear with me. I'm gonna get a book here. There it is. Okay. Okay. I've got a thing for this. For your tinkering rolls. Here we go. You know what? I'll leave that one to you. If you want to get a higher, that's totally up to yourself. Can you want to add it? There you go. All right, perfect.
Like even 25.
100%. Yeah. Spent enough time here tinkering and really refining it. You've kind of just gone back over all the details, and you now had a bit of fun with it, and you're now trying to tweak add other like flares and little bits of finesse and make it a little more personalized. Can you roll me a d20, please? Yeah. Straight roll. 14. Okay. So, the one thing that it has going at the moment is it is temperate. So you feel like it's pretty alright in most conditions. But if it would get extremely cold, it might get a bit gammy. just due to the nature of the wiring and everything else, and the fact that it would be harder to send a current through it. And if it gets way too hot, you might also have similar problems. But that was just one of these things that are hard to roll out. But give me another d20 as well. 16. Cool. So, oh shoot! Wait, no, sorry. A d12. My bad. Sorry.
16.
8, did you say? Still a 16. Oh my god. This is great. I love this. So as soon as you now finish, like, you're coming to the end of the tinkering, and you've made a tiny little pocket dimension, right, for this gold thread to come out of in your belt, correct? So what you've noticed now, as you're working away on the last few bits, trying to perfect it, knead everything out, you start to hear this mumbling coming from the pocket dimension. And as you kind of start to lean in closer and try to tune into what this mumbling is actually trying to say, you're, why have you made me? What is my purpose?
It's sentient.
Yeah. Master, what am I?
Your storage.
Oh my god.
It's like the butter robot.
Yeah, exactly. I couldn't help it. I couldn't help myself. And you watch that as it also talks, the actual hole where the string comes out kind of moves as if it's like a set of lips, and then the muttering kind of just starts to turn into like this low, incomprehensible series of just, and the mouth keeps moving. I have one more thing. I'm just trying to find the page for it, but there's one other thing I'm gonna have to get you to roll for. So bear with me. Where is it?
I have to roll to get a 10, so.
Sure, absolutely, go for it. Where is this page, man? I think I must have passed it. I'm just gonna go back. Sorry. And is anyone else within these 2 days? Are any of you doing anything? Would any of you like to be doing anything?
I'm gonna spar with Burr.
Oh yeah, you were doing that the whole time as well. And Diego joined in. And you've also, with the sparring that you've been doing, you've managed to now sync up your attacks. So if you ever roll on the same initiative, you can all attack simultaneously. Yeah, perfect. So as you're kind of working away with Burr, and throughout the time you've been here as well, your body has felt a little lighter, and a little stranger, and you're there sparring with Burr, and all of a sudden your axe seems to phase through your hand and clatter to the ground, and you look at your hands, and for a split moment they're glowing green and they're like transparent, and then they go back to normal. With that, Burr comes around and he just like smacks you right across the face with like the blunt of his axe. What's your problem?
At that point, I'm gonna try to rage.
Okay. All right. So as he smacks you across the head, like your whole body like obviously just snaps, and you start to now gather these tiny motes of green light start to move towards your skin and begin to coat your skin. And you have this slight glow about you, and this mist begins to rise off your body. Can you roll me a d20? Yeah.
I have a 9.
9. And with that,
Do you have
yeah, what's that?
Shark as your plus? Or is it just Gabriel as the Shark?
I know the first.
And so with that, the rest of you are kind of doing your thing, and you've kind of like gathered just downstairs, and you see Burr approach the rest of you, and he's just holding a little potted plant in his hand.
Yeah.
And he says, I don't know what happened. We were sparring, and And I just hit him. I only hit him. I swear I only hit him, but he turned into a plant.
You sure you only didn't cast a spell, or?
I only hit him. His hands were glowing green, and then I hit him, and he is now a plant. Fix him! Fix him! And he just holds a potted plant out to you.
So we'll take the potted plant and try like understand what happened.
Yeah, give me an Arcana check, please.
I'm so happy.
I can't believe you got the potted plant. 16. There's something strange about it. Like, you can tell there is some sort of life force within this plant, stronger than just a plant's life force. There's some sort of strange aura about this plant that reminds you strangely of Lilith. You get this weird vibe from it, but it's hard to pinpoint exactly what it is.
I turn back.
No, not yet.
I'm still
You're not turning back.
yeah, not my turn yet.
Well, no, it's not that. It's not your turn. You're still a plant.
You don't just turn back. You might in combat. This is outside of combat.
Yeah.
Puts Plants Epic on a secure surface,
Okay.
far away from the book.
Can you give me an investigation check? See if you can find a nice spot.
And I turn myself into
19.
a plant. Funny shit.
19? Okay, perfect. Yeah, you might just tuck him away. Hold up. Move you over here.
And once he's tucked away, I will ask for
Hold
Gaia.
up. Gaio. Oh, Gyro, yeah. It's
Gyro.
important.
Geraldine.
Give me a persuasion check. What are you asking him exactly?
I want to ask him, does he have any idea what might turn a dwarf into a plant?
Okay, perfect. Give me a persuasion check.
24.
All right. So with that, the book's pages start fluttering, and the pink lightning starts to flash from the pages, and then Gyro appears right in front of you, and he's like, "Ha! Ha! 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 You are so young and know so little. I know exactly why he is a potted plant." And he's gonna roll for it to see if he does now. Obviously, this is the work of magic. I can tell you, it is most definitely not time magic. It seems as though his soul has been tampered with. He is not the Ebek he once was. Now his soul has been returned to him as something different. It appears he is a plant. And with that, the plant begins to and starts to shake and starts vibrating, and then just kind of tumbles over off the edge of the desk and crashes to the floor. And as it does, there's this puff of green mist, and Ebik reappears. A few leaves in its hair.
Myself into a plant. Into a plant.
So to offer a hand, so we can stand
Yeah,
up.
okay.
Can he do another kind of arcana check to try and sense, like, is there magic in Epic now? Or what's the
Yeah.
story?
Now with the better kind of we're now knowing where to search for it. Give me another Arcana check.
22.
All right. So you, there's something about him. He's been infused with something, some sort of fey-like magic. That's this Feywild magic that's just coursing through his blood. It's like this battery deep inside him that's like originating from his soul, like where it's trapped deep in, like under layers and layers of thick muscle. It's just there's this pulse of something chaotic and strange and wonderful and very clean, and pure. And it's like, as you try to like focus on this thing, you get like this. You start to get flashes of events you've been through, and you feel like whatever this essence is, it's starting to now just absorb what Epic is, and just embody it and give it life. And it's like Epic is more epic than Epic has ever been.
Epic, what exactly happened that we turned into a plant?
I don't know. It just tried to rage and plant.
You get the sense this thing as well, just to say. You get the sense it's like a sponge. It seems to be absorbing constantly. It seems to be learning constantly, whatever this is that's inside it.
I think we've got a parasite. Maybe just let's not rage unless we need to.
As he says that, I'm just gonna walk over to the window and just bask in the sun.
Just gotta head out. Where is a window? Is I've drawn? Whatever. There's a window there. And with that, the sun is coming up. You've kind of been. It's been early morning. You've kind of gotten up early, and people are kind of just starting to settle in for the. Kind of getting ready for lunch and things, and the sun is starting to rise and peep in through the window, and it covers you completely, and you feel calm, and you feel empowered when you're in the sunlight. You feel incredibly strong. You feel all the hair on your back begin to prick up, and you can feel that urge again, that urge to rage and let out all of this power welling within you.
I'm just gonna look up at Gyro.
Ha ha! You are so small.
You can go back and look.
I think I will roam further. And as he does as well, as he's moving around, like pages are constantly fluttering and like whirling around him. He's just a ball of energy, and he just phases through the wall and continues up the stairs and disappears.
Right.
Yeah.
Cedric, we'll just go like start cleaning up the mess that Gyro just made.
Go. I'm gonna get yourself, Joe, to give me one more roll on a D10, please.
D10.
Mhm.
Just been waiting to hear what dice to roll.
Sorry, yeah.
3.
3. Okay. So as you're there finishing these things off, and this thing now begins talking to you again, it says, "Are you my master?
Yes.
I will protect you with my life." That's it. Give me an Arcana check. Or no, give me an insight check actually.
That is
15. You get the sense that this thing is innately dedicated to you and devoted to you, and you realize that as this you're not sure how you've done it, but it started off with the pocket dimension, that it was just this talking mouth, but now you get the sense that this this belt has the potential to be completely animated. You're not sure how to utilize that, but there is something about this belt that that wants to be alive, wants to like stretch out, spread out to the full length of this belt, and take charge of things, if the opportunity should arise.
no. So it can like move by itself, is it?
There is a trigger that will cause it to animate. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm just gonna send
Okay. Is it in which chat is it
I'm just sending it there.
in? Okay. Cool. And for yourself, Diego, is there anything that you wanted to have been doing for these past 2 days?
I think Diego would just be training with Epic and her,
Okay.
kind of meditating.
Hmm.
About what-
Sure. Okay. Cool. I'll,
What's the page
Ah.
of this?
wait, have you've sent it into the Yeeters, is it?
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's
Oh, alright, it just came in. Okay. Oh my god. What are you doing with this robot dog? This is what the belt looks like?
sentient
Mm.
animate itself eventually.
Oh my god. Ice, you want to build a robot dog?
There's some pictures in Tasha's guide as a robot. He has a robot bear.
Oh wow, nice.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Oh, that's Warforge.
Nice. Are you now making the belt on this thing like a dog head that's holding a ball? No?
That'll be way down the line.
Okay.
Then done about it animating itself.
Sure, yeah, absolutely.
I'll just like kill it out, so that's the way it animates itself.
Perfect. Beautiful. Alright, so eventually you come down with your masterpiece. Everyone again is just down in the general room, and Epic is standing by the sun. You come down and join the rest of them and have the belt on hand. And immediately the belt starts talking. Greetings, I am so glad to be alive.
You've been working hard, Joe.
Wait, no idea what genre it's
Nah.
Cedric's gonna like genuinely question if he's okay.
if
He'll go back to clean.
give me a personal insight check on yourself.
A 7.
That-
Oh, no, sorry. That's a natural. That's an unnatural 20.
Oh shit, nice. As you do, you kind of try to focus, and you do realize you've not completely lost it that far, but you do notice something else in you. There's like, it's as if someone has pulled a string in your mind, and everything is beginning to unravel.
I am that
It's somewhat connected to and whenever you try to focus on it, it's like touching a really tender nerve, like a raw nerve, and immediately you get that flash of images again of the stone faces in the ground and the black ichor pouring out of their eyes.
That drink partly.
Oh god. Oh no. It's like 9 in the morning.
Haunts his dreams.
Give me a con save, I guess. 15. Okay, you're fine. You're not intoxicated. You're just you're mellowed out. the images fade from your memory, and you're back in your own body again, and back in the present moment. At this moment as well, Burr's like kind of stand beside you, and he says, I am sorry for hitting you and turning you into a plant. Alright, okay. He's gonna walk away. And just start looking around, picking through bits of paper and stuff like that. So what is our plan of action?
Well, Burr, do you want to go help your people?
Yes, I would like to. Eventually, when you are all ready, I will definitely go to meet them all. I am very glad that, Joe, that you have put together a very nice invention. I am most impressed.
Thank you.
Yes, a very good use of time. Very, very impressive. I think I will begin prepping to head to Zavion's tower if anyone would like to join me.
That's a good idea.
Okay. Excellent. Alright. Does anyone want to stay here or wrap anything up in the place?
I just wanted to divvy out all of our activities.
Oh, true. Yeah. So you've been kind of investigating, studying these things, and you've gotten a good sense of what everything is now at this stage. So yeah.
We have a sword of fire. Anybody want a sword of fire? It's a sword, but it's on fire.
Okay. Burr's kind of like he goes to grab it and then looks at his axe and kind of just holds his axe to his chest. I am okay. I think I will avoid the thing that might instantaneously kill me.
That's a good idea.
But thank you very much for the offer.
I guess I will just take the sword and sheath it by my side.
Okay.
Want to take the sword? It's like gold.
I actually don't have a weapon, so
Oh shit.
Yeah, fair enough.
Sick. Yeah.
I have my Magus staff, but it's like not.
Perfect.
I'm keeping all the gemstones.
Cool. Good to know.
I'll just mark that down.
Will murder in sleep.
600 gold There's a staff of resurrection.
We got two hands.
Is the fire sword an actual thing?
Yeah, it's flame tongue, I believe. I'm trying to find. Yes, that's the one.
He is not a great weapon, so. Martian, if I don't know.
I am not proficient with this weapon. It has a +0.
I do have a homebrew rule that I do use, that because you become attuned to it, I like to think that like weapons that you can attune to become like an extension of your arm. They're like, you just naturally know how to use it and wield it.
I will just add the
Cool.
Can I take a look at the lightning blade? No one else is hiding
What's the name of the time sphinx again? Is he still
Gyro. He's floating around. As you were coming down the stairs, you saw his head, like half of his head kind of phase through the wall and walk past you and then phase back into the wall. He's just kind of moving around the house.
I'm just gonna shout Gyro till he comes down.
Okay, so Gyro. So eventually, yeah, he starts descending from the ceiling. I am here. You may bask in my presence and powerful body. There's like a slight flex in his arms.
So, Gyro, you're pretty smart.
I am probably the smartest being in all existence, yes.
Alright, so what does this do? I'll show him the eye of the believer.
He's gonna have to take a dexterity saving throw. Hold up, does he have any bonus to that? Oh, fuck.
I can give him like a flash of genius.
Okay.
You can also use the watch to make him redo it though.
Okay. No, I think he might be fine, but we'll just double check. I was like, oh fuck, okay, I didn't expect you to. Okay, no, he just passes. Yeah, no, and immediately as you show him the eye bursts open and shoots this grey beam towards him. He dashes and it just misses him, catching a few of his like spectral hairs, which immediately turn to stone and crumble on the ground. And the eye closes and he just has this blank expression on his face. Most impressive. And he reaches out his paw and places it on the eye. And as soon as he does, he begins to now writhe and twist. And you watch his neck just snap back, and his whole body begins to twist and break. And you then see on his torso dozens of these slits begin opening on his chest, and each one begins to slowly peel open, and a single eye rolls into each one. His eyes begin to widen, and kind of like the distance between his eyes begins to widen, and a third eye forms between them, and he comes collapsing then down onto the ground, no longer floating, and looks up at all of you guys, begins hissing and writhing. And there's a second voice mixed in with his other one. What have you done to me? Can everyone roll initiative, please? Rewind. Reload, save. Turn it off and on again. Okay.
I got a 17.
Okay, Joe's. Okay.
Okay, we.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I'm also going to say that I am not attuned to the sword yet.
No.
15.
15, okay. And Diego?
21.
21, nice. And then Burr got a... Oh, that's pretty shit, Burr. It's a 6. And Gyro... Get old Gyro up here. I just literally closed the book. I was like, oh, we're done now with Gyro stats. Just put that away. God damn. Yeah, beautiful. Okay, Gyro got oh, not one. Cool. So he's just writhing on the ground, just like his back legs kicking, his face is like pressing into the floor as he's just kind of like bouncing off desks and crushing through them. So Gyro is one. Okay, cool. So, starting top of the round, Diego, what would you like to do?
How much do I know about Gyro's book?
Yeah.
Like, do I know if I close it or is it spell it or is it?
Yeah, give me an intelligence check.
You mean that's smart. 16 though.
16. What you have noticed, when the book seems to close, that's when he goes in. He kind of gets sucked into it, and it usually closes then. But it does seem to be that case that if you close the book, he seems to suck into it.
I will dash open the book if I slam it shut.
Okay, so Diego, as you start moving over towards there, he's got. Actually, what's your speed? Oh, beautiful. Yeah, you can get there, no problem. Jesus Christ, this is amazing. But as you do, he is going to take an opportunity attack on you with his claws. Okay, perfect. No, that's fine. Okay, cool. So he's just kind of trashing around, like swings, and you flick up through the air around his foot, moving with the air around it, rolling through the air, dash over, and I want you to give me a strength check to try to close the book, as it's pasted to the table, and you've got to dig it up and try to slam it shut.
Straight up straight.
Yeah.
That's 8.
Unfortunately, like you try to even just close it, or like just try to grab it, and it's like it's just picking up like a cement book. This thing is like, it's almost like one with the table. You can't grab it or pick it up. There's no way you can pick it up at all. You're just trying. Gives the tiniest bit, but it just slams down. Your fingers get caught for a second. You've got to pull them out. Yeah. Fortunately, not a lot of luck. Okay. Joe, what are you doing?
Just going to like stand up on the table.
Okay. The middle one, the one in the center of the room.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. So yeah, clamber up on there.
Okay.
Perfect.
apologize to everyone. My bad. And then I'm going to use my new toy.
Go for it. There you go. Perfect opportunity.
You're going to try and throw a Pokeball at the even time. I mean, even I can tell you, Palkia's catch rate is not that.
He's gone straight off the deep end.
Ball. It's like a thing that gives me advantage on like checks, shit with them, and it draws them to me, so they're less likely to attack you.
You are the tank of the group.
Is it possible to get double advantage? Because I got an last 20 on my sleight of hand check first.
Oh shit. So you've gotten. So you have to make a second roll, right?
Yeah, it's a second.
Yeah. So the first one, just to remind me again, because I haven't got it up in front of me here. So the first one is
Alright.
to throw it. Is it basically, and the next one is to kind of hold them steady. Basically, is that the idea? Because
So the idea of it is like the sleight of hand is how smooth I throw it.
that was
So
yeah.
The wire doesn't snag on the way out of the pocket dimension.
Yes, and you get an
And
advantage.
I got 7 above their AC that I get advantage.
What we can say, because you got a natural 20, what do you add usually as well to the proficiency bonus? What is it again?
It's my intelligence mods plus proficiency, so it'll be plus 7 to d20.
We can say you can add a 14 to this roll. You can just
With
double that.
advantage.
Yeah, with advantage.
It's 3% at full health.
So I got a 17 with my first,
Okay. Trying to find it.
26 with my second stroke.
Okay. It's in the general chat, isn't it? The original image. I'm just trying to get it up again.
Yeah.
So proficient range, blah, blah, blah. So, and it's does it make a contested check with this? Sorry, I'm. It's been ages since I've read this now. So proficiency advantage between plus 20 intelligence. So basically, is it that you've got him grappled? Was there a DC? What is the DC for him, or is there a DC?
The DC when like I have the spike activated, so you can't pull me off place.
So this is basically to latch onto him, but you're rolling against his armor. That was it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, so no, that definitely hits for sure. Yeah, absolutely. So as you do launch this towards him, this guy, he's writhing, he's trying to like dash out of the way, he's becoming really unpredictable, but you've just crafted this thing. This thing has been you've been molding this for days and days. You know this thing inside out. You pull it out and you know exactly what to do. You're so excited to do what you're doing, and immediately this thing just flies like a dream, wraps around, coils around his entire body, and he's grappled by this. Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Once he's grappled, I'll move over
Okay.
toward him
Mhm.
and just
Wait, so it was your speed to get onto the desk. So what is your speed again?
35.
4. Okay, so 5. So we get you.
So like the other side of the
Yeah, we can. Yeah, actually, no, you're right. Yeah, we can get you there. Perfect.
I'll then just ask, why did this happen?
To him. Give me a persuasion check, please. With a disadvantage, I'm afraid. Because of his current condition.
So I got 15 and a nat 20.
Oh shoot.
So
So-
I'll use a flash of genius to make it 19.
19. Okay. And with that, you're asking why he's doing this, and you see for a second his face, which is in like pain and distress, all of a sudden kind of smooths for a split second, flattens out, and you see just his eyes lock with you. And he just says one thing, and he just says, Zachriel! And another eye rolls out through his throat, and falls onto the floor and just begins to melt into a pile of goop. And he's trying, it looks like he's in insane pain, like he's just clawing at his face, like clawing at the eyes on his body, and more eyes are just beginning to pop all over his face and his body, like these blisters forming all over his skin. Is there anything else you'd like to do?
Time guy.
Okay, when you get a cool item that makes someone else go, oh, that's really cool. I can't wait to see you find out more about it. You ask the fucking sentient being, hey, what's this really cool item I heard about? I have it.
So he's there. He kind of like just vomits his eyeball, it splats onto the ground, and just turns into this like nasty, bubbling, gelatinous goop. Is there
Can I
any-
attempt to like pat him on the head and say everything's going to be okay?
You can. Give me another persuasion check with a disadvantage.
Oh shit. Oh fuck. Do I have inspiration? Yeah, I got it.
I don't know if you have inspiration.
Yeah, I do.
Oh, do you? Okay, okay. Go for it. What did you get? Did you get a 1?
I rolled a 3, but I have a -1 on persuasion.
Oh, beautiful.
So it's either it's 14 or 18.
Okay, so 14. All right. As you do put this hand on his head, trying to calm him down, all the eyes just begin to like point down towards that one hand, and it can't even get any sound out. It's like this thing's being suffocated, or it's like it's internally exploding. You're not quite sure, but this thing just looks at you, mouth ajar, just. All right. Moving then on to Evic. What would you like to do?
I can use one of my superiority die from my feat I got
Oh.
to give Cahill an attack. Does the him using
My stopwatch counts as an action. But it's an action, not an attack.
oh
Let me take an action, and then let me do an attack.
no, it's focus. Oh no, that's an attack. God damn.
I mean, I go before a big, scary time demon. I guess.
I'll try to close the book.
Okay, cool. So as you head over this way, this thing's writhing around the place. And give me a strength check.
I would say I would rage, but like
That's
very badly.
awesome. Oh my god. Hmm. Yeah, just adding the strength modifier. 15. You start digging your fingers into the ground. You kind of splinters like fly up from the table as you dig it under the book itself. Start bringing it up, like try to close it, and the creature on the other end just starts gasping again. Just no, and the book slams down onto the floor, slamming your hands down, pinning them. And you watch as the creature disappears. The book's still open. Still glowing pink.
Diego will start cursing and try to like free Ebic's fingers.
Okay, cool. We're still in combat though. Is there anything else Ebic would like to do? Any bonus actions?
I'm gonna try to keep the book closed just by like press my
It didn't close.
down on it.
It's
Oh,
still
it
open.
closed?
Yeah, the book opened up again, and
Oh.
it slammed your like the open book slammed your hands underneath, and your hands are now kind of just caught underneath. You can kind of slip them out if you wanted to.
I was looking
I'm gonna use.
big guy go.
That's a great question. I'm gonna axe and church to try to like close the book again.
Oh shit! Yeah, okay, go for it. Give me another strength check.
Oh, at 20.
Shit. Okay, so with that, you start bringing it up,
So
and again that.
23 total.
Damn. Yeah, absolutely. So as you start bringing it up, start closing it, you start to hear, oh, no! And this creature now, you start to see flashes of pink, like crackling all around the surface of where he was, revealing that he was still standing where he is, and he now begins to get sucked into the... Whoa, not you, Epic. Begins to get sucked into the book, and with that, you slam it shut, pin it down with your elbow, and this thing is kind of like... It's rattling, shaking, and eventually just calms and stops moving.
I'm just going to turn to Cedric and go, it's rewind time.
Yeah. Alright. Fish out the watch and just hit the button.
Okay. So, as you hit the button, it goes back. Roll me a d4.
1.
1 second. And as you kind of go back, you just hear Epic say, it's rewind time. And that's it.
Am I the only one who knows the rewind?
Seems to be. Yeah. Everyone has a bit of deja vu, but you're the only one who's kind of is fully aware.
I'll look at the watch and I'll hit the button again.
Hit the button again, roll me another d4.
1 again.
It's rewind time. I should get you to be saying this actually, Moss. You should be saying this for Epic.
Hit the button again.
Alright, give me another d4.
4.
4! It goes back. The book is now open. And he is standing here again. And he just, I know there's actually no sign of him. He kind of shoots out of the book. You watch it all happen as he shoots out of the book. He's now, and then disappears right in front of you. And Epic is trying to close it again, the book.
The second I notice the time is moving forward again, I'll just hit the button again.
The button's jammed down. The button is stuck. It's not clicking. Epic, can you give me your strength check again, please?
Craig, what have you done?
I want cool.
Oh, this was
Use the bad thing that Xavion said was a super bad thing.
I'm sorry for Putema out of game. Putema told me that's a really cool thing once you figure out how to do it.
She totally baited you. It ruined her character. This thing broke her character completely.
I like our new eyeball mask.
What did you get, Epic, on
I
the...
got a 4.
Okay, you got a 23, and the book does not open. Your hands slam down on the ground. This time, instead of, like, you've tried to bring it up again, the book slams down, pinning your hands. You just can't seem to lift them now at this stage. Yeah. I was gonna say, okay, so it's Burr's turn. Burr is going to panic for a moment. And I'm gonna take an intelligence check to see if I know what to do. I don't know what to do, so I'm gonna look around, take a perception check. I don't know where the cat is, so I'm just gonna run over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Sorry, that's his turn. To get beside you, he's like, "Oh, we'll help you there. Get those arms out. Come on, rage, man. You're stronger than this. I know it." Just like a slap across the face.
Well, I can't really rage at the moment. I don't know what's happening.
Cedric, it's your turn. You sound like Big Les there.
Marijuana.
Mm-hmm.
Cedric will
Shit, that music is loud. Are you alright?
Yeah, I literally have no idea what to do.
Just standing there.
Yeah, I'm just gonna be standing there.
Okay, fair enough. You've experienced time travel for the very first time. 3 times in a row, actually. And now the watch is stuck down at the moment. It seems to be jammed. With that, what's up here? What can I do?
Make us all presentable.
There's actually not a lot this thing can do. I guess you are going to be smacked. Cedric, you get this, like, you just get smacked by some sort of force. The side of your face gets clawed at. Or maybe it doesn't. What's your armor class?
16.
Oh shit, okay. So you just feel this kind of blow of like condensed wind fly past your face. You kind of stumble back a little bit, and a second one comes around. This one's going to hit. And you feel this large paw smack you, crunches down on the back of your head, and you take 16 points of slashing damage. As this thing just smacks you, claws you right in the back of the head, and you kind of stumble forward. You manage to keep your ground. Looking around, then there's nothing there. There's just a few papers rolling in the wind. Top of the round, then it's Diego.
Okay. I'm going to use all the training I've been working on with Burn Epic. I'm going to rage.
Oh, that's sick! Ah, shit. How do you want to rage? How does this go down?
Diego's very strong, so I imagine I just kind of go like more animalistic, like
Nice.
more,
You're about. That's correct.
more.
He turned it into a weird eye demon. Turned it into a weird eye demon.
Cahill, give him the full fucking story if you're blaming it on me.
Yeah, I'll tell you. It's all.
It's not Craig's fault.
Yeah.
It is all my fault, but at least tell him the reason I did it.
It's context.
Context is very important.
Go back to going back to Diego. Anyway, we'll say all the feathers on you just start to stand up. You just kind of all get ruffled up with all these feathers. Is there anything else? You just like super animalistic and sort of writhing at the mouth.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
I'm gonna put both my feet on the table and use like my legs as leverage to make a strength check. I do it with advantage.
You do, absolutely. So with that, all the feathers now start shooting up. Your eyes kind of sink back into your head for a second. A little bit of like froth starts coming out of your mouth, and you dig your claws under this book. Give me a
18.
18. Okay, and let me roll here. It's close. Like you're pulling it up. The thing is starting to close, but it's like an arm wrestle. You're kind of stuck halfway where the book is starting to close, but it's not fully closing, and it's starting to push back against you again.
Okay.
If you want, you can use your extra attack to try to continue if you'd like.
I absolutely will do that. So wait, sorry. Say that again.
Just call for a second. Because I can't hear it. Oh no, okay, it's fine. So you can make a second attack basically with this. So make another strength check.
Oh, okay. With advantage?
Yeah, absolutely.
Not as good. Only
13. Yeah, unfortunately, that's just you're trying to push back against it, and the book continues to move down. Feathers are rising up more and more. Steam is now starting to rise up from your entire back as you're sweating, just trying to close this immovable object. Okay, it's a. So then we're gonna go to Joe. It's your turn. What are you doing, Joe? Hello, Craig.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, you're just stuck. I'm gonna get you, Diego, to make me a charisma saving throw, please. Okay. As you're trying to push this book closed, your hands phase through it, and all of a sudden you're just in darkness. And you kind of move forward with the momentum, and you just begin to float through this blackness. So yeah, you just begin to tumble through this blackness. The momentum of your moves, you're totally weightless in this space that you're in. You don't know where you are. The rest of you, though, just watch as Diego vanishes out of thin air, and the book slams closed, smacks onto the table. Diego, you're left tumbling through this darkness, and you start to hear this voice all around you. Welcome, child. I'll give an inspiration. Okay, and with that, it's your turn, Joe. Okay, the book's just slammed down onto the counter itself, so you're heading over. You're moving over, and you realize that your wire as well, because you have such a good perception. It's still latched. Fuck, actually. You would have picked this up, I guess. It's such a thin wire wrapped around, but you're noticing that it's moved slightly over to just the bottom half of the room. I use you as a count. Just over this way. It's been bent over this way, and there's this thin wire just floating in the air. If you'd like to do
when
anything.
I notice that, I'll stop moving.
Mm-hmm.
And then I will retract this and jump so I'm pulled toward whatever it's going
All
on.
right. Cool. Give me an acrobatics check. 17, perfect. So you just fly into through the air, and you feel one of your hands slaps a bunch of fur, and you grab onto that, and the next hand just squashes into something wet and slimy. And you feel that in different parts of your body. Different parts of your body have hit either fur or eyeballs.
Okay.
Which dice do?
I'm going to try something else, and I'm not sure if it's going to work.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to press to one of the eyeballs, the hand with the eye of the dreamer,
Mm-hmm.
and try and what's the best way to put this? Just trying to draw it back, trying to channel energy.
Give me a religion check.
I'll use one of my flash geniuses to make it 18.
All right. With that, as you're trying to pull it back in, you're in this one moment, your whole mind just kind of falls into despair. This is something that you don't know how to solve. You don't know how to use this. This thing is like no other magical item that you've seen before. And in that moment, you find yourself doing something completely you kind of lose control of your body for a split second, and you focus on the eye, and you find yourself praying in that moment to just undo this. And as you do, you hear whispering in the back of your head. You don't like what you see.
This wasn't the intention.
What was? And so you look for my help to undo this. I do. But I want something in return. I want your loyalty. Can I have that?
We'll agree for terms later, but
No.
one thing I can assure you is loyalty.
The voice disappears. And you feel the wet patch that your hand is on currently return to fur. Fur begins to regrow and fill your hand. And your body begins to slide down off this creature.
Yeah, you bring up a side.
And
Yeah, please.
this thing reappears underneath you, and you find yourself on this for a split second. He's this spectral being, but for this moment he is just completely made of fur. You fall off him, off Gyro, and then he begins to float again and begins to glow and becomes slightly transparent once again. I am all powerful.
Out of curiosity, do I sound better now?
Oh, you do, yeah, you sound really crisp.
Yeah, I've been muting myself on my end with my headset.
Oh, I see.
The mic I've been using is my camera.
Ah, that makes sense. Okay, I was wondering because I was like, I kind of like I had to keep muting you because I couldn't hear for a split second. It was like,
I'm really sorry.
no, you're fine. No, that's fine. That's no problem at all. Okay, that makes sense. No, you're fine.
Sorry, stream.
It's alright. The stream forgives you. With that, yeah, this Gyro begins to float up again. And Diego, you reappear, like collapsing onto the floor, like on top of like a conical flask that smashes below you. And you're back where you were. And Gyro, kind of looking a little just dazed and kind of not really paying attention to anything around him, just continues and floats on past you guys through the walls.
As he floats through the walls, I just cut my hands in water. My bad.
What is bad? His head just kind of peers through the wall again.
Garen, do you remember the last, 3 minutes?
I understand all time and perceive every second of it, yes. You were just showing me the eye in your hand, and I dodged it magnificently as it shot a beam towards me, and now I am going to go upstairs to roam the tower. You must get better at aiming. He floats back through the wall.
Throwing shade.
I mean, he's throwing shade. He's the one that was a blubbering mess.
Joe, maybe we get some protection from your thing before showing it to anyone else.
Yeah.
Xavier might know what to do.
Devian didn't really give us much information on it.
No, Xavier wanted to destroy it today.
Yeah, he wanted to take it off you.
Maybe this was a good idea.
Guys, don't worry, I figured out how to fix it. I have to sell my soul to a BTEX Saikuna. Fine.
What?
Jesus Christ.
Oh, right. Okay, gotcha.
That's
I didn't like that the cat had lots of eyes.
yeah, that
No,
cat's kind of
that
true.
Hindsight is 20.
After this as well, Joe, you have this weird feeling you're constantly being watched. You look around, there's no one around except your companions, and the eye is closed. But you constantly feel like looking over your shoulder to check.
It appears that none of our magical items are very nice to us.
I think bird one's pretty nice then.
I like
we
mine.
have, we have an eye that is now a soul, and then we have our ring that we don't use very often. Has something dark about it.
Oh, what about your fire sword? Does it explode?
I don't know yet.
That is actually a very good question.
It says that I have to say the command word, but I don't know what the command word is. So
Give me an investigation check.
to it yet.
Did it explode?
Yeah.
19.
I actually had this written down. Hold on. Oh, I did because I have the. Hold up. Sorry, I should have actually looked this up beforehand. Bear with me. The rest of you, though, what y'all doing right now?
While I'm looking at the sword, Cedric is going to breathe fire on it to see if it starts.
And with that, you notice there's these kind of very faint engravings that you can't quite read. But as soon as you do breathe fire over it, the engravings glow a bright orange. And do you read giant?
Or do not read giant.
Okay. There are runes inscribed in it, that start to glow when you breathe fire over it for a little bit.
I really think what a giant is a reverse dwarf, so
I will retire upstairs and start packing my things.
All right.
I'm just gonna pat Diego and have a tear in my eye going, "You finally grown up." Same rage.
Oh my god. Diego probably looks a bit dazed. I don't know, maybe not.
He's still completely amped up.
Ebix is really proud that everyone became a barbarian.
Can't become a barbarian, unfortunately. My strength is too low.
That's what the ability score increases are for.
You can totally become one. It's fine. We'll find a way. You just.
We my 21st, 22nd, 23rd levels.
Yeah, it probably would actually be somewhere in the 20, well, definitely the high teens before we could become barbarians.
I kind of want to finish out Artificer. It's level 20 Artificer. Just so good.
Into winning.
I will spend the hour with my sword as well.
Sure, absolutely. And as soon as you do as well, after that hour kind of fades, the sword begins to glow at the hilt as well, and those same runes light up, and you understand them. You know that they spell Rodgil, and you understand that it means red gold, and that is the. Haha.
What's the word?
Rodgil, Rodgil, Rodgil. There's giant for red gold, and that is the word to activate it.
Cool.
The rest of you then, are you packing up or anything like that, or is there anything that you guys want to prep before going?
Can I go get the light safe?
Yeah, for sure. It's like just stuff on the table behind, and go ahead and pick it up. Give me Give me an arc.
Very
Oh yeah.
particular
Okay.
chances.
Well, first of all, give me a sleight of hand check, I guess.
Oh god. 17.
17. Cool. Yeah, very easily. You just pick it up very gently, and kind of feel it between your hands. Kind of twist it and turn it. Give me an Arcana check.
What? That's actually a 0.
Okay. Doesn't seem to be magical in any way. It just seems to be a very shiny piece of metal in the shape of like a lightning bolt.
A broken sword.
Yeah.
Rip off. No, pack up my gear.
All right. Cool.
So
Any
you
other?
finish off all with all of our items. There's also helmet that someone needs to take
True.
if they want it.
Anyone?
I don't know. I didn't look it up. I presume it gives the wearer telepathy.
It's a solid guess, I suppose.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if anyone actually wanted to.
There's some eggs.
Bag holding for now.
Sure.
Oh no,
Maybe not the bag of holding, because that's a dimension with no air, and these things are alive.
That's totally
That is
fair.
actually a very good point. Yeah, we'll just leave them here.
Alright, sure.
They were fine with.
Fair enough. Alright, cool. So packing up your things, gathering all your bits together, taking the hat of telepathy as well. Eventually you guys head off, I suppose. Heading to Taven Lock, where you meet Grill. I guess I'll speed through this because it's very simple enough. All the stuff you meet Grill, and he's like, yeah, fine. You can head upstairs whenever you're ready. That's not his accent at all. Sorry. You can head upstairs whenever you're ready. I'm just here with the kids. The attic's all yours when you want to come and go. No problem at all. And he kind of leads you upstairs for a moment, kind of drops the kids for a bit, moves the wardrobe again from the runes on the wall, and kind of clicks a rock against it a couple of times, and it sparks up another spark, and the whole wall ignites into blue flames and eventually settles to a doorway that goes up and looks at the ceiling of Zavion's tower. And with that, he gives you a nod and is like, good luck. So he shrugs and heads down the stairs. If you need anything, you know where I am. And he nods and he looks a little sad, but he continues down.
Does the attic look like they use it very often?
Not really. There is a lot of like, looking around, you can see there's like bits of rusted pieces of scrap metal all thrown up in here, like kind of failed bits and pieces and things that he's put together, like crafted, like things with defects and all that have just been kind of thrown up here. There's scrap bits of leather as well that are starting to go a little nasty looking, but it doesn't seem used much at all. There's a desk, a very dusty desk in the center of the room with a couple of stools around it. And there's a faded image that looks like it was once painted on this desk. There's a circular window at the end just to the left of this portal that you're in the attic. And a couple of wardrobes up here seem empty, or the hinges are falling off, but that's it.
Is there somewhere I could place a gold that's given out?
Yeah, I'm sure you could. You can, it's anywhere on the desk for sure. Yeah, you tell me.
Place a gold in the middle of the desk.
Okay, cool. Looking around, give me an investigation check actually.
7.
You can tell it's like the circular desk that you do approach, and as you put you have to kind of stretch across to put the gold right in the center, and you can see all these scrap bits of paint and things. It looks like some sort of map was once painted here.
but it's long faded over time and covered in thick layers of dust. Yeah. Cool.
I am going to cast light on the gold, just to
Oh, nice.
make it all light.
It's a beautiful gold shining coin.
I will step through the portal.
Alright, so as you all step through, you get this weird sensation as you step forward, you then all of a sudden are stepping up, and the portal kind of closes underneath all of you, and you find yourself now standing in Zavion's tower, stepping through that center portal, with the staircase ahead of you, other glowing portals around you, but not currently activated like your own was. And there's no sounds in the house. It seems to be empty. Sheep, 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 sheep. Yeah, looking around, it's completely empty at the moment. The tower is yours to explore if you would like, or you can continue over the way you came.
My vote is to just continue on.
Yeah.
We don't need to
Alright,
see
cool. Sure. So heading down, you get to the floor with all the guest rooms, and continue on down. You find yourself in the kitchen, and continue on. Then you go through this wooden door that is here, this old wooden door, and go through the tunnel of stars, which is this just dark cave. Whenever you run your hand along it, it's like this watery surface that glows and lights your way. And following these glowing ripples, you continue through the cave, opening up into the basement that you once were, where Lilith's corpse is no longer there. The thorn walls that were up there have wilted and died, and all that is left are the tanks that have the younger versions of Lilith inside. And the bookshelves that are still, there are still bookshelves here that are wrapped in these purple and green thorns, and there's a stairway as well that leads up. All the other jars that were here as well, with all the kind of nasty failed experiments, are all gone, and this place looks like it's been cleaned and polished.
That's strange.
Sorry, I didn't load the map up for this one, but yeah.
Yeah, I guess walk on, I guess.
Alright.
Don't think there's anything in the basement we need to.
Yeah, sure.
We couldn't break the glass in the tubes, was it? It's made out of something.
It seemed to be made out of like a really refined, star platinum, exactly.
Is Lilith's body gone as well?
Yeah, the big dragon body that was there with the head falling off is gone. It's no longer here. Give me an investigation check, actually.
That is a nat 20, but it's a 19.
Shit, no, that's great. No, that's a natural 20 is a natural 20. You can see, even though this place has been polished and cleaned immaculately, the ground itself, where now stone rests, there's no longer vines in this place. The whole tower itself is actually made of stone. And there are these kind of faint marks and these grooves in the stone where vines once had kind of, from just vines existing here for so long, they've just left all these grooves and they've warped the stone. But you can also notice that there are these claw marks, these scraping marks, as if that body of Lilith has been actually dragged out of here up the stairs and off somewhere else. Yeah. It's very, very faint, and it looks like it's tried to be cleaned up as best as possible, but
It would work, that's for sure.
Alright. You continue on up to the hole then, or you
Yeah.
Alright, cool. So, as soon as you do, whoa, I'm gonna stop the stream for a second. Well,
Look at all this stuff.
just close your eyes for a second.
That's like an awful lot of things.
Yeah.
Look at that stuff.
God, yeah.
Like, if it happens once or twice, okay, but it seems to happen like once a session.
I know. Whoa.
Rocks fall on Joe and you guys.
Oh, sorry. It's all a stone castle now. It's so unfortunate. Oh, he's dead. What you do notice as you come in here up through the basement, you can hear murmurs of people, and you now can see a huge queue of individuals coming down from the staircase. And there's just there's several dozen people all lining up towards the entrance of this the hallway here, where Xavion is now standing with these two big double doors opened up, and snow is actually starting to fall outside, and in the snow he keeps wiping it out of the way and kind of rewriting these runes on the ground, and opens up these teleportation circles, and kind of greets a few people who come along, and he asks them where they're from. He's like, right, yeah, and where are we going? You want to go here? Right, no problem. And he writes another set of runes and opens up another thing. He seems to be sweating, even though it's freezing outside. Just loads of steam is rising from his back. He seems to be under a lot of pressure trying to get all these people through, and bring them all through in his orderly fashion. And eventually, as he's doing all this, he catches your eyes, and looks up at you, gives you a big smile and a wave. He's like, welcome back, it's nice to see you lot. And he continues on with his work, though, not trying to hold anyone up.
I think Cedric will probably realize that it's taking a lot of energy for him to do this, so he'll offer a hand.
Sure. All right. Perfect. So as you kind of approach him as well, immediately, like, Xavion doesn't even like hesitate to accept the help. He's like, right, okay, you're just gonna follow me. It's real easy. You just got to copy a few of these runes. I'm sure you're used to it. And he starts writing the runes, and you can see the circle is slightly faded, and because it keeps need to be like regenerated again and again. You need to tweak things and place names. He's like, I'll cover the location. You just work on transcribing these runes, and give me an Arcana check as you're working alongside him. 22, nice one. So with that, you spend quite a while here. He's moving at a rapid pace, like writing with his chalk, this magical chalk through the ground. But you do start to keep pace with him and start to learn really fast as he's pointing out like what rune does this, and he's explaining as well. As he's seen that you're able to keep up with him, he's finding time to also explain, like, I'm putting this location in here, and this is how you will phrase this thing. And with that, you learn the teleportation circle spell.
Teleportation circle. Pretty sure that's the
It's a pretty high level one, but you feel like with practice you'd be able to definitely get this down for sure. And he's no. Gives you a big smile, and he's like, "You're fine. A bit more practice here. I'll get more practice in with you." And he starts on another circle and brings you over. And there's a couple then, like this man and woman and their child, a family of water ganassi. And he's like, "Where are you going?" And they're like, "We're going to and the dad kind of like pushes him out the side and he says, "Atlantis, please." And he kind of hugs his kid who's kind of like sniffled and shaking like into his chest, and Savion's like, right, no problem, fancy one. All right, I've never been myself, but have a safe trip. And opens it up, and you just see beyond this portal this amazing metropolis made out of like these kind of shell-like designs. All these buildings around these shell-like designs, these bubbles floating everywhere, and the whole place seems to be underwater, but within this barrier. And people are, people are floating through the air. There's just a bright glow of arcane energy coming from it, and the family disappear. The gate closes, and steadily more and more people start coming through. They kind of start greeting you, and Xavion's kind of calling. I was like, "You have these people to thank for you being free, so make sure you say thanks before you head this way." And a bunch of these families are coming up to you, like with kind of tears in their eyes, like shaking your hand, just thanking you and asking who you are.
That's a good thing to see. A lizard folk with the charisma of gods.
You're asking them that?
I'm helping Xavier.
Oh, okay.
Have you seen a friend? He's
Not this high.
At one point as well, as you're saying this and talking through the crowds, eventually a few lizard folk start coming down the stairs, and they seem to be the last people. one massive 9-foot tall lizard folk man starts moving his way towards you, and you realize it's Grog, and he's like, ah! He picks you up like one arm, like squashes you into his chest, and like gives you this massive nuggie, throws you onto the floor. It's like, ah, my friends, so good to see you all.
Can I grab Grug and just headbutt him right now?
Yeah, absolutely. Give me a strength check.
Can I rage?
Yeah, absolutely. You just like feathers like fly up and just collide heads with this guy. I'll give him a quick
That
control.
is a 20 on that.
Shit! Like Drug's like not surprised at all. He's kind of like kind of roaring and kind of hunched over. You come on like headbutt him. He flies back and like a big like you feel like a crack sound, but not from your head, but from his head as he stumbles back, like collapses onto the ground. Blood is now just like pouring down from his forehead. And he's like, and for a split second, his eyes go really small and like slitted as he focuses on you, and it's like he's gonna snap. And then this massive smile appears on his face, and he's just like, ah! And runs over to you, grabs you by the legs and spins you around. He's like, I always knew you're the strongest one. Ha! You've got a very powerful little bird, or should I say, a falcon warrior.
I've been practicing Grug. Like, very strong head.
He kind of like stumbles for a second and blinks one eye at a time. Yes, you too. Very powerful. And with that, he bows out of the way as Susanna comes through, like with this bright shade of pink, and she's nodding to all of you. Ah, our heroes save us once again. Thank you all so much. What can we tell our people back home who we're going to see again? Who are you? What grand title would you like? We've already given Gold Chief his title, but I feel. And with that, a bunch of these a bunch of these lizard folk chime in, and they're like, Gold Chief, like all in sync. They're kind of slapping their chests. Yes, Gold Chief, great hero, but you all deserve to be. How do you say, recognized for your heroic deeds? Is there a grand title that can summarize your splendid, sorry, English not great, how good you all are? Can we call you? Many heroes, many tribes, many teams of warriors in our time have been given strong names. Grog's team are called Ironhead. Maybe you have something you are all very good at. Maybe great heroes. No, I am not very good with names.
The Yeeters, we agreed on this. We practiced this.
Ah.
Will frown a little bit and then
I like these Yeeters. Very good. What is it?
that was like Random peasant come here.
Yes, sir. This middle-aged man runs over to you. He's got like a handlebar mustache, kind of hair combed to the side, just a shirt tucked into his pants. Hi! How can I help? That's my thing, just like helping. Just do what I do to help people.
How attached to your head are you?
I could say I'm, it's pretty well stuck on there.
Okay, that's fair enough.
I'm gonna
but
no,
I'll
I the staff of resurrection and go. I mean, you got 5 charges.
Oh my god.
the whole point of us Yeeters is that no matter how attached to the head a person is, it has to be yeeted.
Oh wow. So give people bits of screw looses or stuff like that. I know my wife gives me a bit of a I lose my.
Can I try something?
Yeah. What do you want to do?
I'm gonna grab my new toy that I haven't dubbed name yet.
Okay.
I
Oh my god. Okay.
And I'll wind up the power so it like tightens as much as possible just to try and pop his head off.
Oh my god. I'm gonna give you. Just give me the general sleight of hand check. Just give me the first roll and see what you get.
We weren't serious.
What did you get, Craig?
I got that 20.
Wow, and with that, just with a clean thing, it wraps around his neck and his eyes widen for a second and he has a little chuckle like, ha! And the whole head just slides off. And everyone just stops for a second and everyone's like one little child just starts like screaming, just, what the fuck? Everyone starts scampering all around the place.
I'll use the staff to rescue.
Even Xavion is like, what?
Turned to Joe. We were kidding. We were gonna kill him.
I haven't slept for like 3 days. You have to be more specific with your sarcasm.
I don't understand sarcasm. Okay. Yeah, I'm just trying to find it again here. I don't know why I've lost it. I don't know where the page is. It is called Staff of Resurrection, not Rod of or Wand of Resurrection.
No, it's Rod of Resurrection.
Ah, there we go. Okay, there. That's what I can't find it. So I had two. Mm-hmm.
And Diego stepped in front of the body. Like it's a magic trick. Like,
Give me a deception check.
Yeah.
You're helping, are you?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, give me it with advantage. Actually, no. This will be at this is just a straight roll.
Okay, straight deception. Straight 10.
Yeah, everyone's freaking out. You're trying to calm them down. A few people are trying to listen, but then they see the body again and they're like, oh god! What the fuck?
Oh fuck yeah, I'll use inspiration.
Okay.
Okay, 16.
16.
So I'll be covering up the body, like blocking the line of sight to the body with my wings, and just be like, wait for the big reveal.
So with that as well, with Cedric running over, you place the rod onto this person's chest. These wings kind of float out and press down onto the wounded area, begin to wrap around the wound. Hold up. I have to look up the resurrection spell.
Yeah, you touch a dead creature that has been dead for no more than a century, that didn't die of old age and is undead. If the soul is free and willing, the target returns to life with all of its influence.
Can you give me a persuasion check? As you see now, as you place this staff around the neck of the creature, you see the ghost of this guy like, ha! 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 What? What happened?
Unnatural.
What are you saying to him?
My friend got a little overzealous.
Oh.
I am gonna resurrect you. That was okay.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't expecting that today. Yeah, I'll go hop back in there then. He starts climbing into the body again, and you watch then as the wait. Oh yeah, cute closed mortal wounds restores missing body parts. Okay, cool. So you watch the head still remains on the floor, and you then watch as the body starts now regenerating a new head. And this it's a little baby head that begins then growing into this teenager head, and then finally the adult head, completely bald, no beard or anything. It's like he's starting fresh. He kind of gets up and sees his severed head on the floor and kind of vomits and wipes the vomit out of his mouth and well, fuck me. He just walks off. Everyone-
Grab the head and like shove it into the bag.
Take him and just like walk him to the front and go, I think this guy deserves to be next.
He's like trembling. Xavion as well is just like wide-eyed, like, aye, right. Can you roll me a d20 actually, please?
Yeah, I did it. I got a 20.
Okay, cool. Nice.
For reference, guys, on a 1, the staff disappears.
Uh,
treat the revived chicken also.
So with that, Zavion opens up the gate. He's like, "Where are you going?" He's like, you know, I don't, just, send me over to, I've always wanted to see the Limbo. Just send me somewhere there. That would be cool." He's like, "Hey, maybe you want to go see your family?" He's like, no, I'm good. He just, Zavion gives like a wide-eyed, like opens the door, and there's just these like open fields of this this kind of pink grass, and he steps on through and just keeps staring at it as the portal closes. Sure, no problem. Eventually the crowds kind of settle down, and they continue nervously kind of veering past you lot, kind of like whispering like, the Yeeters, yeah, the Yeeters, that's what they do, that's the thing. And they're like, "Oh, okay. And Krug kind of comes over to you lot, and he's like, "Oh, that was a cool weapon. I really like this invisible blade of yours. But it would not break my iron head. It is very powerful." It is. I am probably most powerful being.
But make sure to tell everyone we didn't actually kill anyone here.
No, I saw. That is shame.
No, Grug? No, Grug?
Yeah,
Grug, where are you going?
I'm just trying Grog right now. I am going to go back with the Iron Heads and continue defending my clan, I guess. Pretty basic standard stuff yeah, I'm just going to
Would you like to travel with us?
I don't know, what do I get? One of those cool invisible blades?
You could.
Oh, okay, other things. Yeah. I like a lot. I like the weapons you have. They are very powerful.
What weapon do you have there, Grug? Big axe?
No, these are they are often mistaken for your weapons, but they are just my hands.
That's great.
I claw and I bite with my hands and my face. They are like how you say my body is weapon. Yes. I don't understand what temple is. What is this?
Why would your body be a building?
That's the building. No, well, I am very powerful, like stone structure. Maybe even something more powerful than stone, like a mountain.
Great, Grug. Yes, if you would you like to join us? We have,
What are you doing? Are you cutting off more people's heads?
we'd like
Oh, he has a big grin on his face, like, I like this. give me a persuasion check. One person in the group, and you can roll with advantage.
I'm not very persuasive.
Trying to get Grug going.
Oh, we're trying to get Grug to join the group.
Yeah, what's your persuasion?
Persuasion is +5.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Why are you so charismatic?
Very charismatic.
You're.
I'm gonna turn to Zavion. Back.
Hey, no problem. I'll just get rid of these few people here, no problem. And he's continuing with the portals. It is the Gold Chief, fellow. I have heard that you have very powerful weapons and will be decapitating many heads.
When you say this, I'm gonna pull out the sword, and I'll say, Rodgil,
And with that,
burst into flame.
perfect, yeah, just there's an explosion for a second. The whole thing starts just bursts into flame, and his eyes widen. The fire reflects in his eyeballs, and he's like, "What is this?"
Rug, Gold Chief has a request.
Okay. He's starting to get like a bit flustered and kind of like looking down. It's like, oh, the gold gem. What is it? What is the request?
A companion
Ah,
from here on out.
wow, yes. What is companion?
Fighting help man.
Oh, that is me!
Fighting help. And I would like to ask you personally if you would like to come along with us.
Uh,
The fight.
He's kind of looking at his hands and looking back at his tribe. Give me a persuasion check with advantage.
At 22.
Holy shit! He's just like, he turns to the tribe and he goes over to the people, like the rest of his kind of chads, and he goes over to them and he starts speaking in lizard folk. Do any of you speak? Sorry, draconic. Oh, you speak it. Yeah, so you can hear him saying now as he goes over. He's like,
You have all fought very bravely along my side for many the moons. However, there is time when a Grand Master must ascend into godhood and has a bigger calling. I now must do this, and I will make Stephen the new leader of the Ironheads. These are very powerful individuals need my help to kill many the powerful monster. And I am actually not really progressing with you. You're actually holding me back. So I'm going to actually just go with them now because you are all very weak in comparison to me and you're not very good sparring partners. So you must get stronger if you want me ever to come back to you. So I am going with them now and you will defend our tribe. Goodbye. They also have a really cool sword, so goodbye. And he walks over to you and he says, yes, it was very hard to leave them, obviously, but I am strong and do not get sad, so I will join you.
Thank you, Grog.
Yes.
Not gonna lie, kind of choked on my coke when I was drinking that. Because I was laughing so hard.
I am this brutal that you speak, yes. That is me. Brutal Grog.
Even the soul of that guy.
all of them are kind of looking at the ground. One of them just kind of sniffs just and wipes his eye. The other one slaps him for like crying. They kind of continue past you a lot. Kind of give you strange looks, but they continue past. And Susanna goes over to you, Cedric, and kisses you on the forehead and says, thank you for all that you have done, our heroes. Good luck, Grog. And she bows. And they take off through the portal into Chult.
Grog,
What? Hey.
I have to go back and help Zavion, but
Oh, sure, yeah. That looks very important.
And he kind of like nudges Joe, like,
He is just drawing on the floor. I lied to him to make him feel special. Yes, you do.
I'll just like smile and like shake my head.
okay.
He is very strong. He does not feel emotion. Just like me, I am also like this.
I will also sheath the sword before I get back to that.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I just got up. Perfect. So you're there, continuing, and this crowd you're getting through them quite quickly, and there's only a few people left by the end of all this, and there are a few humans, the ones that you seem to recognize, and you do end up seeing your human selves kind of nervously wandering down the halls. You see Cahill, Moss, Craig, and Marcus, the four of you walking down the steps, kind of looking towards you lot. Actually, wait, a little bit. What colors does everyone want to be?
Purple.
Purple. Okay. So purple, red. Did someone say green? Okay. Give you a green and oh, you blend into the floor. Y'all are fools. Purple clashes with green. Alright. So you see these 4 individuals walking down, kind of looking the rest of you up and down as they continue down, and I'll get you guys to roleplay yourselves here for a minute. You're seeing now as you come down the set of stairs, you see this very short individual, very stocky man, Ebic, with this massive blade, Switchak's mechanical machine. There's this 9-foot tall lizard folk man. There's a shorter hobgoblin green guy who's got this talking belt. This tree guy and a bird, a humanoid bird, and then there's this golden dragon-like man at the end, riding with chalk with this tall Eldritch man as well on the floor, creating portals, bringing people back home.
Like, what the absolute fuck, guys? Where are we?
Not my favorite trick.
We were playing D&D like 5 minutes
Sold you
ago.
that acid, like, fuck's going on?
Yeah.
This is a crazy
When we were playing D&D and after was just gonna...
I would say that, yeah.
Guys, the hobgoblin staring at me funny.
You fucking killed
Guys,
the
I
person 30 seconds ago.
I don't know what to do, guys.
You would have just seen that, I guess. You would have just seen him decapitate someone. You continue past, like, rest of them. You see the lizard folk man look at you, he's like, ha! They're so tiny. Look at them running from us and our powerful, our power. As you're approached by this lizard folk man, and the Eldritch man stands up and looks to you and he's like, hello, how's it going? You lot, we're gonna have to take you somewhere very particular because you're not from here, are you? What if? Oh, right, perfect. So welcome to our humble world, Gostar. I'm gonna take you back to, I believe you called it Earth. I did a bit of dabbling while you're waking up and had a peek and see where you are. I think I know somewhere that can bring you back there. Are you ready to go home? I'm sorry, this is probably a lot going on with you right now, but not to worry, we'll bring you back ASAP. Lads, over there, and he calls over to the rest of the Yeeters. Have you any interest in returning to the Caterpillar Falls to see these little ones off?
Not really.
Fair enough. Alright, fair enough. Alright, Sedgwick, you hold the fort, I suppose. Be right back. I'll make sure they all get home safely. If you need me, I'll just be at Caterpillar Falls. Be back in about 10 minutes time. Not a problem. And Roger.
Doesn't really have good memories of Caterpillar Falls.
It's fair. Alright. And so with that he starts writing on another rune on the floor, another circle, and it opens up and you see this perfectly green island covered in like lovely bright green grass sitting in the center of a lake. Right, if you step through this old portal here, we'll start bringing you home.
His new walk through the portal.
Okay. I see you going through as well. Alright.
Cedric's gonna smile at them.
Alright.
He's half dragon. It's not gonna be very pleasant.
So I don't know how you guys would react to this. Oh shoot, what's this loading ball of death doing? Anyway, you step through the portal and you find yourselves standing on this beautiful green island, lush green grass, powerful waterfall off in the distance filling this lake up. And should get rid of all these people. Yeah, I actually don't need them right now, but I'll just roleplay this. It's fine. So then, as Zavion kind of steps through with you, the portal closes behind you, and he's like, "Right, okay, and he starts bringing his hand into the earth. And as he brings it out, he drags this green glowing portal up through the ground. He's like, right, I'm gonna have to reprogram this thing. It's a bit of dabbling, no problem. I've done a bit of geomancy myself, dabbling with this sort of thing, space, time, all that. Hopefully I can bring you back to where you live. And he starts tweaking with it and starts writing in the air with these green sigils all around this portal. And eventually it opens up into this kind of hazy grey colour that seems like there's lots of smoke, and you can hear beeping and loud noises and music playing. And he's like, right, you're ready to go home? Yeah, I'll step through and make sure you can catch me on the other side. So follow me, I'll head right through and you can follow me, no problem. He steps through into the portal and it's left open for you guys to step through. You on through? Alright. And with that, going back to the hall, you all step through back into your world. As soon as you guys step into the through this portal, you find yourselves in a very different world that you're used to. Huge towering metal buildings are all around you. People start speeding past you on hover bikes. People have metal implants all over their brains, and you find yourself in a reality, your world. It seems somewhat recognizable to Dublin City, and it reminds you of the game that you played the last time you can remember. It reminds you of the Cyberpunk game. It's you find yourself in Cyberpunk Dublin. There's no sign of the elderly man who helped you through. And going back to the rest of you in this tower, Zavion doesn't come back. 10 minutes pass, 20 minutes pass, half an hour passes, no sign of him.
I'm just gonna walk to the window and throw the old guy's head.
Yeah, from his eyes.
Epic, we're on the ground.
It's just this stained glass window. You can throw it through the stained glass window if you want. Just like smashes and you hear a little scream just outside. Oh god!
Go back to the door and like throw it into the basement. I was like, I'll deal with that later.
Okay. Perfect. But
Has everyone been sent home at this point?
yeah,
Like,
that
is
was
that
they were the
last
yeah, he hasn't returned, but they were the last 4 people.
Yeah, hit up hit up 7 on the bus.
Yeah, I don't think sending works either. They have to be on the same plane. Yeah. Yeah. Time passes. No sign of Zapion. Grog's just kind of getting bored. He's like, ugh. When are we going to be chopping off the heads?
Grog, are there people still upstairs?
Yes, a few, but they are all asleep. Boring. I saw that little lizard folk man that you were friends with. Chicky, I think. Go. You guys head up the tower, and as you do, kind of pass by all the destruction and burnt floors that were left behind. Eventually, and it's all kind of stone. But as you do start flying up as well, and ascending each layer, you realize there's also runes around every entrance, every layer, and quickly you can pick up Cedric easily enough that it seems like Zavion had created some sort of featherfall ritual for every ring, so that you could pass through them gently enough. However, you guys continue to ascend up into the highest floor. Where is it now? There we go. So as you do start ascending up through the layers, you now see one short man, very stocky. He's got like stubble, and he's wearing a pink vest and just a pair of briefs, and he's kind of like rubbing his eyes as if he's just woken up, and he's petting a dinosaur by his side. And they start to make their way over to you, and he's like, "Oh, what the fuck have we got here then? Where the fuck am I? Hello, Dance." And then for a second, like, his eyes widen. My name's Carl, but for the past month or so, I was fucking merged with this little fucker behind me, and you lot kept calling me fucking Toto. Yeah, what the fuck? What the fuck's up? It's like this 5 foot tall man.
While he's talking, I'm just gonna like run and hug him and not let go.
Yes! There he is, the man himself. The beast tamer. Motherfucker. And he gives you like a nuggie as well, and kind of like brings you away from him, and he's like, "So, found any more beasts in your wild adventures?"
I haven't had the proper chance, but
Yeah.
I'll just show him my belt. I made this nifty thing now that should make that a lot more easier.
He's fucking skid smart. And he kind of like squats down, kind of pokes the belt, and is like, "Hey, why are you doing? Ow." Oh, it's fucking skizzy talks and everything. That's fucking oh, yes. He just takes a big puff of the cigar.
Yeah, I'll just pull him to the side. Yeah, don't mention the talks to the lads.
Oh, yeah. Fucking lip sealed and all that shit, yeah.
They don't know shit, and I want to keep it that way.
Ah, yeah, of course, man. Fucking skids.
How is Toto doing? Actual Toto, not you.
Oh, that's fucking Dino over there. That's,
His name's Dino.
his name's Dino, yeah. He's a fucking dinosaur. I call him Dino. Oh, yeah. I'm a fucking dino racer back in Chalt. I'm a fucking best the best. King of fucking dino racing, yeah. Jockey.
An insight to see if he's telling the truth.
Yeah, for sure.
21.
He seems legit, yeah. He seems pretty fucking proud of himself as well. He's kind of like puffing out his chest, like, "I'm the fucking fastest dino jockey in all of fucking Jolt. Ride any dino, tame any beast. You know, back in my day, I was a bit of a beast tamer myself, like fucking Joe over here. And I fucking settled down, did some racing, lost a bit of weight, got a bit lighter. Now I'm fucking... Yeah, fucking yeah, I did. Something like that, yeah. So you fucking fuckers up to what was the fucking plan now, mates? You fucking in the big bad world? Yes, fucking it, fucking lit.
We came up here looking for Gino.
Check the fucking talkative lizard man. He's over in the back there. He hasn't woken up. Looked around as well. Seems to be the last one here. I was pretending to be asleep for a while, hoping to get my own personal chat with you bollocks.
Well, sorry for hanging skulls off you, I guess.
I was fucking smart. I was fucking sick. Yes, some sick fucks, mate. I fucking dig it. Fucking chopping off heads and all that shit, yeah.
Meet Grog or Toto. I'll just point to Grog.
Oh yeah, he's actually not here. I forgot to add him in. But we could just say he's there. Krog's just kind of taking it all in. He's like, "Oh yeah, fucking the big beast himself. He's more beast than lizard folk, if you ask me." And Krog's like, "Yes, I am very powerful beast. I can tear a man's head off in one move of my smallest finger.
Not the most articulate person we've met, but he means good.
I am not good, I only kill. Ah, this is fucking sick. We got a fucking crew back together, mates. Fucking yeah.
So, you want to join us, I guess?
Yeah, fucking. I'm fucking.
Decision already.
Fucking where the fuck you fucks are going? I'm fucking in. Fucking. Yeah. Let's fucking go, mate! Starts rummaging around his boxer shorts and like pulls out like a bit of like tobacco as well, like the cigars. He's already gone through it and burned through it, and now he's like looking for like kind of smoothing out like a bit of paper, and he's now just sprinkling in a bit of pocket lint mixed with tobacco in this thing. And he's starting to roll it up, and he clicks his fingers, and a little bit of flame lights on his thumb, and he lights his cigarette and just yeah, fucking sick, and just the whole thing burns away in his mouth. I gotta get a female with a few fucking more of these doobies before we head off, but I'm ready to fucking take off as long as we can stop by my vendor along the way. Yes, and get fucking twisted as fuck, man. His eyes are now just like blood red. Like there's no white in his eyes anymore, they are just red.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go check on you.
Yeah, fuck yeah, nah, yeah. Yeah. He's just staring off now into the abyss, just kind of slightly vibrating. But the rest of you, yeah, head over to the wall. Eventually you do find Chikno, and he's sleeping very peacefully, embedded like into the wall. There's no more vines. He's kind of, there's a few vines still coiled around him, and he's now kind of more just propped up against the stone wall of this sphere that you're in.
And he's sleeping.
He seems to be. There's no movement in him at all. Sure. Yeah. Can you give me a medicine check?
You meant to be good at medicine. You got a 7.
7. He's probably unconscious or something. You're not sure. It's hard to tell. He's very still. Bit cold to touch. They're fucking cold-blooded fucks. It's hard to tell if those things are fucking alive or not. Fucking stick your fucking ear up his ass. Wait, what the fuck am I saying? I'm so fucking fucked. Oh, my. Oh, it's good to be not a dinosaur. Yeah, fucking fair.
Fire usually makes me pull out my sword. I gotta say, Rotgill.
And it ignites. Shadows kind of flicker on Chikno's still face.
Okay, so it does 2d6 fire damage extra.
Mm-hmm.
But can I just like
You just want to touch it off him?
touch it off?
Yeah. Yeah. You bring it in slowly, scorch the shoulder, kind of burns away the sleeve of his shirt and burns the skin slightly. No movement.
Can I bust out can I like put my hand on Cedric's sword or sword hand and like slowly lower it and pull out my Yeeters kit?
Sure.
Try see if I can get him.
Yeah.
some life into him.
Give me a medicine check.
Cedric will sheath his sword.
How does he
I think well, for this sake, we'll just say you can. Are you trained in medicine?
I'm not proficient.
Proficient. Okay, well you can add your proficiency to it. You're trained in a healer's kit, though, are you?
No.
No. Okay, well just give me a medicine check then, and Yeah, for this, you can add your proficiency. Screw it. We'll just add your proficiency to this.
Okay. That is a bad roll. That's 10.
10 altogether. You kind of there trying to figure out where to start. With this, you start pulling out bits and bobs. You've got your herbs, and you try to apply one of the herbs to his tongue, and there's like no movement in him. His whole body is just completely limp, and he kind of just tumbles to the side. And then you keep at him and try to keep applying different balms and everything to him, but there's nothing.
I will place a hand on Diego's shoulder and shake my hand.
I just need more herbs.
The staff of power.
You can say that you use like 2 or 3 leaves to yourself.
There were bedrooms downstairs. Or my bedroom.
There was Lilith's bedroom, yeah.
Edit can take achievement.
Alright. Cool. So you can say you just can head down there. Perfect. There's this beautiful green silk bed. It's like a massive double bed, like fit for a 10-foot tall green lady. And we can say you rest his cold body under the sheets and tuck him in, and it's as if he's sleeping. And the rest of you heading down to the floor. Yeah. Sorry, this is one of the floors you would have passed actually on the way. So, yeah, exactly. So yeah. There we go. Okay. I don't know why I've made Carl so large in this one. He's a dwarf. He's actually not. I think he's just a human. He's just a short human. Yeah, he's just a very stout human. Alright, so the bedroom. Yeah. So you lay him down to rest in the large green silk bed. And, yeah, looks very peaceful. Ah, it's fucking beautiful, man. Ah, great place to be buried.
It's not.
Ah, yeah, sure, yeah. Fucking too right. Give me a history check.
6.
You've no idea. You were there at one stage, but you don't know the distance between here and there.
We've been using portals for like that.
Yeah, I'm so disorientated right now.
No, he's in a different tower.
He's in our tower.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, we'd have to go back to our tower.
How would you get directions on the blacksmith?
Does Bird know?
Bird would probably know. Bird lives near Caterpillar Falls.
Yes, I did. I've never been this far north of the Vale, but I do believe we are quite far from Caterpillar Falls. Maybe a few maybe a few weeks or months travel. We are up at the very top, and it is towards the middle of the Vale. Yes. It would take some time, but I know Tavenlock is very near the Caterpillar Falls. In fact, Tavenlock means the town of the lake, and that is why it is called that. Is because it is right in front of the Caterpillar Falls.
Yeah, we can just go to Zavion's tower. And then teleport.
Tower and then teleport there if the teleport is on.
Active.
Yeah, we could do that. Yeah, I suppose just the 5 days while we're waiting for
Should we bring Cheek up with us?
Oh fuck yeah! Are we gonna?
I don't want him to just like on the bed.
Oh, you have that amulet.
No, someone has it. No, I think I have it.
I think you do.
Not decom.
I can't remember the name of it.
I mean, you won't need it because he's just sleeping, obviously. But
Just in case he sleeps for too long, starts getting a bit nasty.
Yeah,
If we're just going to our tower, why don't we just carry Chicken over there?
yeah.
Yeah, I will place my amulet on Cheek now.
Okay. So with that, there's
Make our way back.
for a second there's a pulse of black energy that surrounds Chicano for a split second. It's like this little veil shoots over him and disappears as you place it on him. Alright, so you guys are...
Grug, you seem to be the strongest of us.
I am very much so.
Cheek now.
He is very tiny. I will pick him up with one finger.
He tries to pick him up and then has to actually lift one of his hands and he throws him over his shoulder.
He is like a little baby. Look at him. So puny.
Alright then.
Alright, so you guys head down the tower again. Passing through all the floors. So you pass the dining room, the bathroom, everything else. Eventually you come to the garden, and then you come back to... I'll let you get Carl. I'll drag him over to this other thing. Carl. There he is.
Just charity. Yeah,
Okay, so as you start heading down the stairs, in the open doorway down at the base of this this hallway, there are figures waiting for you with the snow blowing into the hall you guys are currently in. You see... Hold up. Sorry. Shit. You see a man with blue skin, wearing a pair of spectacles, hood up, has this white armor over on patches of them, and then long robes. You see at his side a blue Russian cat, kind of just like stepping in between his legs. You see a blue tiefling with long, sharp horns, holding this glowing green blade in his hand, eyes completely pink, shaved head at the sides. You see a kenku, a blue kenku, yeah, holding a bow and arrow, looking quite nervous. And then you see a blue Aarakocra, a female Aarakocra flying around them, and her hands light up with blue flames. And at the center of them all is Doc, the captain of your ship. And he has his hands outstretched, well, one of his hands outstretched, and makes eye contact towards you, Ebic. And he says, "Come now, boy. Give us the ring, and we'll be off." trying to bring the crew back together. We need that ring.
Why do you need the ring, bro?
It's not important. What's important is that we go home. These people can do it for us. If we bring them the ring, they need it for their purposes. I just want to go home. Now,
As do I, but we don't know if their motives are noble.
no, they're just delivery boys. As am I. For bring it back to the original owner. Now, come on. Be a good shipmate, and hand her over, and things won't have to get violent.
Are you really willing to strike your brother down over a ring?
The others want to go home just as much as me. They've been trying just as hard, and every one of us have been trying to find you, trying to find this ring.
Where are the others?
All over the Vale. I'll show you them as soon as you hand it over. This crew behind me aren't the most patient. So, if you could please, Epic, don't be grumpy now.
No, this is the time to be grumpy.
Please now, Epic. These folks, they've been hired. They're an elite force, hired by the Winter King himself. He's been in search for that ring for quite some time, and I think it's about time it goes back to the owner, don't you? You don't know how powerful that ring is. All right.
Say, on by Mark. Question. So I'm like asking. Fireball?
Doc steps forward.
How far away are we?
Close enough.
You are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
About 60 feet away from Doc, and another 1, 2, 3, about 80 feet from the others.
I'll just ask. Try not to get Doc in the blast.
Okay, we have to take a couple steps forward, so.
You see.
No, we don't.
Wait for what I want to do.
They see them you discussing this. Doc gives a sigh as the others begin to draw their weapons and aim them towards you, and we're going to pick up here next week.
Goddamn.
So
Yeah.
get caught. The range might be only 60 feet.
Are you trying to grab Doc?
No, just shatter the like
So you have a week to plan your next strategy. And
When did I get my first
I don't know. I will look at. I have so many books open here. Wait, how do I not have the player's handbook open? Okay.
What's his name? At the start. I was going to joke, surely that's a big enough milestone to level up.
That would have been too soon, but yeah, that would have been.
Oh god.
It's kind of time. That's nothing. You just head off.
Level up.
Average Joes, God's time. It's all the same to us. Don't care. We don't discriminate. Nice one. That was fun. All right. I guess I'll say goodbye to everyone on the stream. Thank you all for watching, everyone. And cool. Beautiful. Bye. Yeet, 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 yeet. Okay.
Oscar will look at Ghostly and say, "Frog, horse, frog. Do you wanna frog, horse? Do you wanna go on top of the frog, horse?"
Yeah, are you all right, mate?
Frog! On top, frog!
Do you hit your head?
Oh my god.
I will go next to Madame Sprout and just put my hands on top of the frog. Safe, very safe.
Eternal Oscar right now. Notice that Bubbles does a thing where the sides of Bubbles' mouth kind of stretch to the sides and curl downwards and you can sense what Bubbles is thinking, like, really, you think I'm good at this kind of stuff?
I was just gonna look at him. I was like, no, but I don't think I'm any better. Do you really want me to go up to that man and go like, oh, it's okay, she wasn't much of a loss. See, I can't.
Bubbles kind of points inside their mouth. And just you know what Bubbles is saying the whole time, and Bubbles is just trying to communicate. Like, I can't even talk.
I think that's the benefit.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay. Ghostly, I think this might be for you.
What's that then?
Like, go give Brian a hug.
Oh, Brian's upset because now Cinta's in bits on the floor.
Oh my god!
Oh my god!
Oh my god.
Alright.
Oscar will look at Ghostly and say, frog, horse, frog. Do you wanna frog, horse? Do you wanna go on top of the frog, horse?
Yeah, are you all right, mate?
Frog! On top, frog!
Do you hit your head?
Oh my god.
I will go next to Madame Sprout and just put my hands on top of the frog. Safe, very safe.
Eternal Oscar right now. You would notice that Bubbles does a thing where the sides of Bubbles' mouth kind of stretch to the sides and curl downwards and you can sense what Bubbles is thinking, like, really, you think I'm good at this kind of stuff?
I was just gonna look at him. I was like, no, but I don't think I'm any better. Do you really want me to go up to that man and go like, oh, it's okay, she wasn't much of a loss. See, I can't.
Bubbles kind of points inside their mouth, and just you know what Bubbles is saying the whole time, and Bubbles is just trying to communicate, like, I can't even talk.
I think that's the benefit.
Yeah,
Fine,
that's true.
okay. Ghostly, I think this might be for you.
What's that then?
Like, go give Brian a hug.
Oh, Brian's upset because now Cinta's in bits on the floor.
Oh my god!
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Bye.